Bunzerelly Show.
Star Wars, all Mandalorian. I actually look at the window, it's raining, and I'm like, I wonder what the Mandalorian's doing right now. What's Din Djarin doing right now? And luckily, we got Wandavision came out, and we're taking our first dip back into the MCU. First since last summer, the end of season 2, when we did the Avengers Endgame show. And of course, joining me, the guy that helped me out with that show, was we did that full ride. I got Khiim on the show. Khiim, thanks for being here, buddy.
Hey, thanks for being here. Well, appreciate you for being here.
So I'm going to ask you, what were your first, what did you think of WandaVision as a whole?
As a whole, I mean, I thought it was good. It was different because of just the time period they were trying to capture, as far as the acting went. But it was interesting I was going to say, I don't know, maybe you can correct me, but is this one of the first times that we see like movie, because you have movie universes and then you have TV universes. Is this the first time we're seeing like movie characters being brought on to?
Yes.
Okay, so it was interesting to see that,
Yeah, when they did the Daredevil stuff and they did the Luke Cage stuff, they were kind of like, they existed in that universe.
Yeah.
They would mention it, but they never really crossed in.
Yeah.
That might change now that the Netflix contract ran out with those characters. There's rumors about that, but this was like, first straight up, just bringing them in. I think the show, one of the things it had going for it was because we haven't had any movies in a while. We had that big break. We were MCU. We did I think it was a summer. There was 3 movies. It was like Black Panther, Endgame, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Were all one summer. But it was like, we never, I think the show at the pace it goes, I don't know if we would have had a patience for it last summer. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think, what I'm saying is.
You think it would have been too much?
No, I'm saying is that you come out of Endgame and you're watching WandaVision, and I think it would have been a little slow, but since we've been so removed from it, from that time, if it was happening and there were still movies happening, I think another smart thing was the 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah, definitely that.
Because I think you just really kind of need, pieces of the puzzle are coming out, and you just really kind of needed to just, if you walked a week away from the first episode, you might have kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
So give us that other episode to kind of start putting clues together and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that, and honestly, I was like, I'm kind of glad they gave us a second episode, because it kind of would have been a slap in the face, because the first episode was basically the trailers. Yeah. Besides maybe the office scene.
Yeah, it was setting up for a new thing of comedy. Of course, they showed us some of the the action stuff just to get away from it.
Yeah. They definitely hinted to some future stuff.
Yeah, but it was even the first episode was all sitcom.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think there might have been a little clue at the end. I mean, there were some things
here and there.
Here's what I liked about the sitcom stuff. I don't know if you caught this, but they were straight Wanda was straight looking like she was looking at cue cards like they used to in those old sitcoms.
Exactly.
And it was also
they're capturing the time period. Yeah.
It was really good. And the other thing was, I liked it, the sitcom. As corny and silly as it was, the messing up with the dinner with the boss, it was just funny seeing them in that situation. So it wasn't okay, when are we getting done with the sitcom thing? You know what I'm saying? It was enjoyable. But so there's a couple some of the kind of clues they kind of threw at us. First of all, and we kind of talked about this when the trailer came out, but first of all, whether Vision's alive. Well, Vision, whatever's going on with Vision has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he's oblivious.
Now, is it Vision? Is it Vision from an alternate universe, which I don't think is, I don't know, could be. Anything could be, because you've got all the multiverse happening. Did Wanda have access to Vision's mainframe, which is Jarvis? The only reason why I'm going in that direction is because it's the only clue I have to that is the credits. For some reason, the credits, they show us a bunch of digital stuff. Yeah. They just show us some graphics and digital stuff. Let me make sure I didn't shut my phone off. I got, but yeah, it seems I'll find out later, okay? If I shut the phone. But it just a grid thing. It's some kind of abstract grid thing. So that's like leading me to believe. But he obviously doesn't know what's going on. But it is funny seeing Vision like have more of a personality, because since it's not in his normal state, it's just kind of funny to see him act goofy.
Yeah.
Like even the gum thing and everything, it was okay.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that whole gum thing, because I was like, okay, so like he's basically intoxicated because he's getting gummed up.
But he's flying up in the air. And he's doing like he just like went through
drunk.
stuff. It was great. It was just like, but one like a perfect mix of corny. Because really, the only thing that they had their powers and they are who they are. Yeah. But there's and it's so funny. There's so much talk about. I'm not even looking at the notes, but it was like
the sense of detachment.
Yeah, but like
they know, but at the same time, like it's a dreamlike state.
Yeah, but it seems like I don't know if they're telling us Wanda knows what's going on. Oh, looks like we got a phone call coming in.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Bob? What are you doing? What'd you think of Wandavision?
You know what? I just finished it right before you guys started,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting to hear you say how you enjoyed the sitcom part of it, because that was the one thing where I was like, I don't know if let me ask you this.
Okay.
If they wouldn't have shown the 2 episodes together, if you would have just seen the first one, would you have been sold on it?
That's what I'm saying.
Saw the first one.
I think if it was just the first one, I think you would have tuned out by the time the second one came out. Not because of anything wrong with it, just because it was, it was just like there was a reveal at the end of somebody watching it. And it was like, if it went right into the next episode because you wanted the payoff for that, which you didn't fully get, but it was like, okay, it's right. The second episode's right in front of me. Let me see it. I think that was the key.
Yeah, they had to release the 2 together, and at first, like the first one ended, and I was like, you know what? If they didn't play the second one, I would have been gone. But then again, they released them both together, so this was a plan. And the first time that radio kicks on, and they say, Wanda, who's doing this to you? I got chills.
Yeah.
When they said that. And I think maybe having that long of a build-up where it seemed excessive, like seeing that much I Love Lucy flashback or whatever you want to call it, the sitcom, as corny as it was, built you up to where when you finally heard from the real world, I think it kind of it made it better.
There was a couple moments where, like, I think there was only 3 or 4 moments that were like those weird moments, but because they were so spread out, they really like the helicopter. Yeah. So the only thing I caught about the helicopter, because I was writing down numbers and I was writing down clues and everything. I don't think any of the helicopter had any significance.
You didn't catch the symbol on it?
This is what I got. I got its Iron Man colors. Okay. I saw 3003. Huh?
That's all I got was Iron Man colors.
Yeah, I wrote down 3003 and 57. What did you catch, Khiim?
So maybe I'm mistaken, but I could have swore I saw like a sword emblem on it, and I thought a couple shows back we talked about it, how I brought up Shield, and you said they had a branch off that was sword or something along the lines.
That was the Nick Fury after credits, thinking he was going to do that.
In the middle of that emblem was a sword.
That could be. Then there was something. What was the other clue? Well, it wasn't really clues, but during the commercials, there was, they had the Stark toaster, and then there was the Hydra watch. And that made me go back to, well, like, who's doing this to you kind of thing. Yeah. So is Hydra accessing her to get to the multiverse? Are they holding her? I think this is the mystery part of the show. Is somebody holding her and she's kind of creating this little mystical matrix world in her head? Yeah. And then, that's what I'm saying. Is Vision real or not real? That's the real question.
It really is. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they're going to tie that in, honestly.
Did they say Hydra? Was Hydra said?
No, just the watch. The second commercial was a watch, and there was something. I don't remember if it actually said the word Hydra. No, it was Von Strucker. Mm-hmm. The watch was Von Strucker, and Baron Von Strucker is the guy that in the second of Age of Ultron that was holding Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver hostage. But it could have been like the random, like the Tony Stark toaster is one thing, but I mean, it is German watchmaking, that was a mistake, but that was more like, seemed like a clue.
Yeah, it's a piece. I don't think they ever do anything. They don't put stuff in movies just for no reason.
Yeah, I mean,
it seemed like an Easter egg.
Yeah, because a Stark toaster is like, okay, Stark makes everything, so that's a good running gag and everything. But the Hydra is like, why is the Hydra there?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What was the other thing? Oh, the neighbor.
It was too off, or it was too like because Khiim and me missed it.
Uh-huh.
It was too how do you say, like, it was too good of an Easter egg.
Yeah.
So, like, it had to mean something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Tony Stark colors on the helicopter was obvious. Like, oh, we're seeing colors, and it's Iron Man colors. That's an obvious thing. But the Hydro thing maybe has more meaning because you really had to know what you were looking at, because otherwise, why do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too specific. Like, I didn't even know if the Iron Man colors, that was just luck, but it just seems like it was the only colors, and just red and gold just scream Iron Man to me. There was another thing, I gotta find her name, the neighbor.
Geraldine?
Yeah, Geraldine, yes. Geraldine, like, what's your name? It's like, Geraldine. Like, that was no accident.
Yeah.
So, but then what does that mean? Does that mean there's other people being held, or?
To me, it rubbed off as like we said, Scarlet Witch is kind of creating this matrix in her head.
Yeah.
So what I got from the first episode and the second episode, between the end of the both of them, it seems that the more, because if we're going to skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, go all over the place.
At the end of the second episode, how the beehive person kind of pops up out of the sewer, and she's like, stop, and rewinds everything.
Yeah.
That kind of, if you think about it, that broke something, because then everything started going into color. So I think the more she has these snap back into reality moments, it's kind of breaking the matrix around her. So you see these little glitches.
Yeah.
The first glitch being when the boss came to the house party.
That's right, the choking scene.
And he pulls it right out of him, and they don't even realize. Everything just goes back to normal.
And even the wife during that scene.
Exactly.
He's like, well, I forgot what her husband's name was.
So
it was like, stop it,
And the first thing breaking reality was, how long you guys been married? Where are your kids? Or how come you guys don't have kids? Like, all these questions that kind of started breaking reality. Like, hold on. Something's not right.
Well, even Vision's like, what do we do here?
Yeah, And he's kind of, like we said, it kind of seems like he's more oblivious. So he's kind of just looking to Scarlet Witch for, like, the answers, But when he goes there for the answers, she starts breaking reality.
Yeah, and then even when, like, the choking thing was happening, and her and Vision kind of stared at each other, and then she's like, it's almost like when the wife was freaking out and saying, Harold, or whatever the husband's name was, I can't remember. It's like, hey, Harold, stop. Harold, stop.
Stop it, yeah.
Like, was that coming out of, it was almost like, was that Wanda talking through her? Like, she's just, stopping the thing?
I think all of it. I honestly think it is her. She's creating that matrix. So, like, she's speaking to herself through these other characters. Or these other characters are kind of hinting to her, like, this isn't real,
Yeah.
I assumed, Khiim, that's how it was the whole time, and that's how I thought it was even in the trailers. I was like, oh, okay, well, Wanda's obviously making this Matrix world, and that was what was cool about the show, was that when someone kicked in on the radio, that was the first time the thought ever dawned on me, like, oh wait, maybe somebody's doing this to her.
Yeah, because
it seemed like the obvious choice would be Wanda's doing this because that's just something that you think she could do.
Yeah.
But, that was pretty cool. And I like how they switched. You know how they switched to, like, different cameras?
Yeah.
When it was, like, everything was breaking. Like, they switched from the multi-camera, old-school mode to, like, single-camera close-ups, like, more, like, new-style shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just see, like, the look of it. Like you said, when that 70s show lady, when you could see, like everything, the reality was starting to break. All of a sudden, like, the camera angles changed. I like how they did that.
Yeah, they drop the sitcom stuff when it gets serious. Yeah,
and honestly, I agree. I think honestly we're gonna move forward and we're gonna see that. I think they're gonna keep the fact that we're getting actors from a movie, not that other actors haven't been in TV shows, but you know what I mean. I think we're gonna get it to where they're gonna be like, okay, well, we have these high budget actors. Let's push their acting ability. So we're going to see the transition of times and the camera angles and all that, and the styling is going to reflect it.
Yeah. I like the color thing was cool. Oh my God, the Vision dress as a magician. That was the best. Just the way that show started. It was so corny, but it was like I said, I'm watching this sitcom. Like I could just watch this sitcom.
Not even just a sitcom reflecting that time. Like it was just very, very whimsical. It reflects that time period.
Yeah,
that's how acting was back then.
It's like I said, it's really creative and it's really genius. Like I said, I think it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
That we've been out of the Avengers. Like, suppose Endgame was out and then we're watching this show. I don't know if we would have had the patience for it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the right place, right time.
Yeah, it would have definitely been like a huge like e-break.
Yeah, because like you'd be like, hey, you watch that WandaVision? Like, it got a little slow. I kind of fell out of it. Like that kind of thing. But now that it's like, we're like, oh, it's like, it's been a year since the MCU.
We're anticipating it.
Yeah. And now I'm like, even like the last few days coming up to it, I was like, holy, we're back in MCU.
Yeah.
Like, this is cool.
Yeah, it's still kind of surreal to me.
Yeah.
Can I give props to, is it Elizabeth Olsen?
Yes.
She did so good. There's something about, like, I don't know if it's an accent or what it is, but like she talks and acts like so familiar to that period. Somehow, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just think like she did a good job of. It sounds, because I've seen her. I mean, you see her in Avengers. She has a Russian accent, so obviously it's much different than that. But I've seen her just in other movies to where she's just acting like whatever characters. But this one, she had a whole different sound to her, and it was that. For some reason, it seemed like very time period, whatever. You know what I mean?
It was genuine.
As an old sitcom, you know what I mean? Like the corny jokes and everything. Like especially the first episode was just a straight. That could have been an I Love Lucy episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they immersed themselves in the corniness of it. They were just like, I think they were having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
A couple things coming up that are some clues is because, so one of the upcoming movies is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Still not seeing hints of multiverse, but that one's slated. And then there's like the rumors of the 3 Spider-Man, which to tell you the truth, I haven't done a show on because all I'm seeing is rumors.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to like, all I could say is, hey, that'd be cool. There's nothing to really go on, but we do know the multiverse thing is happening. I don't know if it's bridging into what's happening to her, because it very well could be after what happens to her. Because in the comics, Wanda has there's like a storyline called, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I've never actually read it, but I know of it, but it was called House of M, where Scarlet Witch like freaks out and says no more mutants and like changes the world. It's this big miniseries.
Everything.
But in the comics, she is, and they've shown it like in Endgame, she's supposed to be like super powerful. So either one of two things. It's happening now, which I don't think it is, but when it happens, I think one of the things, if Vision's not really back, or whatever happens at the end of this thing, if she loses Vision, that might be the thing that drives her nuts and makes the multiverse thing happen. You know, or makes, you know, her just like, she changes reality. That's really her power.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen, because I was looking at the IMDb, and I forget his name. It escapes me at the moment.
Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Not Doctor Strange, but the third actor that was listed for the show when I just searched full cast was the actor who played Quicksilver in X-Men.
Yeah, Evan Peters.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't have him listed as a character yet.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely going to be pulling him in unless they have him as a different character. But
why would you do that?
Too close.
Why would you bring in the other Quicksilver and confuse people?
Exactly. So it's just too close. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. She's going to break.
God, if we get that X-Men Quicksilver back, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, I got a cooler brother.
I just seen Days of Future Past. I was just scrolling around on TV, and I caught it right at the scene.
The Quicksilver?
With him doing the Quicksilver scene in the police station when they go to break out.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my God, that scene is so good, and it's funny. It's funny that you guys bring him up, and that's because I was thinking about this with him. I'm like, remember they had Quicksilver, the other Quicksilver, in the MCU, and they killed off that character who was tied in with Wanda. Wasn't it her twin? Or something.
I had a theory about that because there was like some weird contract. Because Fox had to write, because Quicksilver, and I've said this before, but just to catch people up, it's like Quicksilver's been an Avenger and an X-Men. Mm-hmm. So Marvel made this deal with Fox, like, hey, we both get to use Quicksilver, which they made a lot of deals that were dumb in hindsight. Like, why would you make that deal? Like, when do you pick them? So the marketing behind it was, so they had Quicksilver announced first for Avengers, Age of Ultron. And in Days of Future Past, they were like, hey, before he was an Avenger, he was an X-Man. And then it confuses the marketing because it's two different companies and realities. And I think it kind of leads to the reason why they killed him off. I think they did it because they were like, okay, Fox really screwed us here. We're just going to kill ours because this is stupid to have two Quicksilvers. That's what I'm thinking.
It was so bad. The X-Men version was, no, not the X-Men, sorry.
The Avengers version.
Marvel version. Thank you. The Avengers version was so bad that I'm a comic book Marvel guy that liked Quicksilver, and I love Quicksilver in the X-Men, and I didn't even recognize that was Quicksilver.
Exactly. That was a horrible rendition.
Avengers. It was a horrible rendition. Thank you. It was terrible. I didn't even know that was him until Joe told me. He was like, that's the same character as that guy.
Yeah. See,
never would have caught it.
That's funny, or you recognize, because even, what's funny is like, because I read a lot of X Factor, which was, it was the original X Factor. It was like the 5 original X-Men. It was Cyclops, Beast, Angel, Iceman, and Jean. Yeah, but then they made Archangel. Well, it was Angel became Archangel, but then there was a second comic that it was David Lee wrote it. Or no, Peter David wrote it, but the artist was Joe Quesada, who actually ended up becoming the president of Marvel Comics. I actually got stuff signed by him, but there was a new team that was like Strong Guy. They took all like the B-list guys, but the book was written so well. But it was Strong Guy, Havoc, Wolfsbane, Multiple Man, and Quicksilver. Mm. And it was an awesome book. It wasn't as flashy as like X-Force or like the 2 X-Men books, but it was a good written, really interesting book. But Quicksilver in it was great. But he had a snarky attitude, and he was just kind of a dick.
Yeah, Quicksters are always tricksters.
Yeah.
They're always, honestly, no matter whether it's Marvel or DC, the fast guys, they always have that kind of like showboatiness about them, that, playful mannerisms. And the one that we got in the Avengers, he wasn't any of that. He was bland.
So and then I mean, they had the Russian accent thing, which was, I'm not saying Russian accent was bad, but if you notice, after that movie, Scarlet Witch's accent kind of dropped down some notches. They kind of moved, I don't know, they just kind of, just to, not saying Russian, I'm just saying like changed the nature of the character.
Yeah.
Like just, they kind of stepped away from the Age of Ultron thing.
Yeah.
They never even mentioned Age of Ultron again when it comes down to Wanda's like background and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that about Age of Ultron. I was like, yeah, she blew up a building, but she also worked for Ultron. How come nobody mentioned that? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's strange. I think we might get some answers from that because, like I said, I was saying when I was watching this with my girlfriend, her and Quicksilver, they're mutants.
Oh, I just remembered something. I want to get it out before I forget. Because sometimes I do a show and I'm like, oh, why didn't I say that? I have a prediction.
What?
Some of them I get, some of them I don't get.
Hey,
so the only thing I've read was this show. I read something like Elizabeth Olsen or some director or something said this show is supposed to have a Baby Yoda moment. Okay? It's weird. It's Agnes mentioned Ralph 3 times. We haven't seen Ralph
at all. Yeah.
So here's my Baby Yoda moment. If this is Wanda and she's freaking out, Ralph. It sounds silly if I don't say it right. Well, I'm just going to say it. Josh Brolin is going to be Ralph. Whether he's just Josh Brolin will be good enough, or he's straight up Thanos. Just in that reality. Just like freaking Wanda out. Like just like Just of the Met because he killed Vision. Vision was the first death. It was a brutal death.
That'd be off the wall.
I'm just throwing it out there. We haven't seen Ralph. I was like, God, that would be freaking awesome. So I was putting it out there. So if it happens, I called it. And it might not. I've had a lot of bad theories. So the only good one I called was the Captain America dance.
Yeah,
I was wrong on Venom.
I like the idea of it, but Josh Brolin doesn't look enough like Thanos. So where if Josh Brolin walks in, the three of us know, oh, that's Thanos.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's. I mean, Marvel does kind of just assume.
But what if he talks like Thanos?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if he talks like Thanos and just
like
the most funniest thing that Thanos said that's kind of became a meme across the internet. What if he just said something about it's inevitable?
Yeah, or like she drops something, goes, "Let me get that for you, little one," or something like something Thanosy.
Oh, you burned the chicken? Well, it was inevitable. and then he reaches for it with his hand, and he's got 5 rings.
Yeah, 5 different. He just snaps a lot walking down the street.
Yeah, let me get that for you.
But I do want to ask one thing, because you mentioned Baby Yoda. Speaking of babies, at the end of the 2nd episode, she was pregnant. What do you think that has any kind of role to play, or is it just thrown in there?
I think that's just her having her fantasy. I think that happened. Did that happen before the beekeeper or after the beekeeper?
After the beekeeper, she had the whole beekeeper. Okay, so then it might be what you're saying. I think her playing out her fantasy. That's what she wants to happen.
Yeah, I think she just freaked out and said, like, let me have a happy moment. Because I mean, even if Vision was alive, he's a robot. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that was like, he's like, I think that was either whoever was coming to rescue her or whoever knows what's going on. Somebody's trying to access either through radio or whatever's happening to her. Which brings me back to Vision's mainframe, because Vision is originally Jarvis.
Yeah.
So if it's with Tony Stark and everything, even though Jarvis became Vision, if you could access a shadow of Jarvis maybe, which Tony did when Ultron first killed Jarvis, he found fragments of it. I mean, it's a program. So what if somebody's... Go ahead, Bob.
Can I chime in?
Yeah.
So I have a theory about the pregnancy thing that I thought off the bat was that it was so ridiculous for her to just become that pregnant that fast. I think that was an example of reality falling apart. I didn't think that was like, oh, this is what she wants. This is this. It's just like, this is just showing that, okay, everything's just kind of, this is nuts. That's what that showed to me, because you don't walk into a house and all of a sudden you're 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Now I could see that, because then that would go back to when it's coming in on the radio and he's saying, who's doing this to you? So maybe somebody's controlling it. Maybe it's not her generating what she wants, but somebody's like, this is what you want. Oh, she almost broke out. Let me input this instead. You know?
I know some things from what we've seen in the trailers. The time period is going to change at one point.
Yeah.
It's going to become like an 80s show when she has frizzy hair, and there's like the Halloween party, just some of the stuff we've seen in the trailers. It's like, there's going to be a part. It's going to change scenes. And I think that might be, like we said, Wanda trying to escape conflict. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you have a bad dream and you're like, wait, I'm just dreaming. Let me take control of this dream. I don't know how much she knows of what's going on, or she's so powerful, all that she knows is she has some control. But she saw the beekeeper guy and she said no. So what it could be is, so let me throw this at you. So this thing is happening to her and somebody's making this happen. But what if she's just so happy that she's with Vision that she's just like, I don't want this to end. I don't want to be rescued.
But I don't know, because I feel that, but at the same time, we have that guy saying, like, who's doing this to you? It just comes off too much as like it almost seems like somebody's manipulating her power.
No, but I'm saying is, I think the guy on the radio is the beekeeper. or the same guy. Somebody's trying to help her and she doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah.
And it still could be her. It still could be her.
A manifestation, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the beekeeper just could be her, just freaking out, making the beekeeper.
It still could be who's doing this to you, because off the bat, watching the trailers, watching first episode, is she's doing this. Mm-hmm. But then the radio kicks in, you're like, oh, it might be someone else.
Yeah.
But there's still the possibility where it's like, nope, we were wrong. It's her. Hey, thanks, guys, for letting me call in and chime in.
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for calling, Bob.
I was listening to some past episodes. I really enjoyed it, guys. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for calling, Bob. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yep.
Hey, all in all, great stuff. Show was awesome. I'm in. Like, I'm in for the ride. So I think it was really good, and it kind of just makes me. And maybe Mandalorian kind of set the tone. I don't know if they changed things or stuff, but they were just like, and it's still, but you know what? I keep thinking like, oh, maybe they're like catching, like we got to catch up with Mandalorian, but it's still Marvel. It's not like Marvel's let us down or anything.
No, not at all.
So I'm going to,
It was a good break. Yeah,
they gave
us a break from Marvel. We got to go into Star Wars for a little bit, and now it's back.
And the other thing, like, I don't want to say the good thing about, but the other good thing that kind of happened was like that break. Like, because these guys are like, hey, we got to put out a movie. Let's put out the next movie. But they got a time to stop and think.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, we can't film. Let's just plan. And maybe that's like the blessing is like, well, we get to think.
Yeah, let's get it right.
I know we were going this and this, but hang on. We got some time to think. Let's plan. They got some storyboards and everything. So I'm excited about what's going on with this show. And now I'm also getting excited about even Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm getting excited about that one. So I'm excited about this Marvel on TV, and then we're gonna make that pivot back to Star Wars. So looking forward to the ride. I want to thank Khiim again. Thanks for being on the show, man. It was awesome having you back.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Have a good one, guys.